Hey everyone, it's Jake Kiernan, and I have some important announcements to make, so listen up. Okay, first and most importantly, I'm releasing a song with my dad. I know some of you already know that we make music together, but this time it's for real. We're locking in and we have a song ready to release very soon. We don't have a release date yet, but it's called Desert Run, and I'll talk more about that later. Okay, next announcement, I've been invited to NAMM again. I'm going to NAMM 2025 with FM Guitars and Felix Martin. So if you're around there or if you're going to NAMM again, stop by and say hi. I'd love to see you. Last but not least, my dad and I have been invited to the Kaler headquarters in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we're going to jam, we're going to hang out, we're going to have fun. And I said, who knows, maybe I might even be on the Kaler podcast. But regardless, you should check out the Kaler podcast. If you love music history, that's the podcast for you. So in the meantime, I'm going to keep you all updated. Like I said, stay tuned. Love you all. Thank you.
Welcome to the Kaler Podcast. Man, it's been a long time since we've done one of these because of the NAMM show and other various things. It's been a lot of install videos and things like that. But here we are with the podcast and special guests, Jake and Jeff Kiernan.
That's right. How you doing?
Yeah. How is it going today?
It's great. Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's good. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, you guys.
Thank you. And
Come
by
back
the way,
again.
Thank you so much for being so hospitable to us.
Oh, well, that's great. I hope
It's
you had
been
a good night's sleep there
fantastic.
and so forth.
Yeah. Way back when we first started doing this, I think before, Jake, you came to our attention because of actually not a Kaler bridge, although you do play one.
That's right.
But you have the most outrageous thing on a bass guitar that I've seen in a long time. You've got a sustainer on the thing, which, people have talked about, but you're the only person I've ever seen that's done it. What in the world possessed you to do that?
Well, my first concert was with my dad and mom and my sister, and we went to Steve Vai for the first time.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, right.
He plays guitar, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Right there? Yeah.
Oh, him. Yeah. Okay. Big fan.
Well, I saw him play Whispering a Prayer live for the first time. I've known about the song. I knew he played it with Sustainer, but seeing him play it live was a whole different thing. I watched him do it. I'm like, that's magic. I need to know how to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah.
And same here. I've never seen anybody put a Sustainer on a bass. I was like, I'll do it.
Sat there and looked, and I was like, holy crap, this guy plays a Kaler too. You guys started watching the podcast, made a couple comments back when we needed to fill time to where we read every comment that anybody put up there. It was like the same 4 people every time.
Yeah.
Which, thank you very much to you and the other 3. And now we're so important that we have to really make an effort to do comments. Not really. Keep making comments. But,
well, it's a great idea that you have to put people's comments in the video because then they have something to watch for. Like, oh, he put my comment in here. I want to see this,
And you know what? Probably what we'll wind up doing now is doing like a once a month comment thing or something like that. Maybe we'll do it at the house while Gary makes pancakes or something like that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Right. The first time we saw his comments come through, we're downstairs playing darts like we do every Saturday night. And, and all of a sudden, Jake's like, hey, that's me.
Yeah. What the hell? Oh my gosh.
That's really cool.
You made an amazing video demoing the Kaler bass trim completely and totally just of your own volition. Nobody asked you to do it.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, there will be a link right about here where you can click on it and you can watch Jake's video.
Well, before you go with that, I can tell you I didn't know about the sustainer.
Yeah.
We don't sell sustainers.
No.
Right.
We sell bridges. And that was just a fantastic video you did with the trim.
Thank you.
And I said, hey, we got to find out more about this first for this person.
Yeah, I actually had a chance to ask Jake last night. I was like, come clean. Were you doing that to get our attention? He was like, well, a little bit, you know, and it worked. And that was great. And something that we're working really hard to do here is actually make a really supportive company that works the way that all, Gen X guys like me and your dad wished that music manufacturing companies actually were back when we were your age, you know. So hence, you know, hey, you guys swinging through Vegas, go ahead, swing over. You know, we like what you do. We feel like we know you well enough to where it's like you want to stay at the house. We have for artist relations and things like that. And you're the litmus test, you know, the very first ones. What do you think of this the whole experience?
Dude, where do I start?
I don't even know.
I mean, well, first of all, like I said earlier, I told you, it's unusual to see someone be so kind to other people. So we were like, are they going to kill us? You know? But yeah, I mean, the whole thing is just, it's so crazy because watching people who you enjoy on the internet is fun. But then when you're in person with them, it's like, you know, it's a whole different thing. I mean, we're having a lot of fun. Yeah. This is totally a dream come true.
Well, I can just say we're glad to have you here. We really want to expand our community to end users, and that's musicians. We really hope that end users watch what we do, and because that's who we want to talk to. And then if the OEMs decide they want to buy our stuff because of folks like you and other end users, that's where we're coming from. We're going to build this company back up from the end user side of life. Let's pay more attention to the musicians that actually make their money doing this, and they actually use our stuff.
See, I've done it from both ends, Gary.
Yep.
You're like kind of like a legend to me, right? Because
thank you.
Back in 1984, I bought my first Kayler, and I bought it to fit on a pearl white Hammer Phantom, right? It had a fixed bridge, and I wanted a tremolo, and I appreciated how little material you had to remove from the guitar to put that 2300 in there. So I had that done, and then 2 years later, I bought one of those Charvel Jackson Model 5s. With the 2300 in it, and I'm actually on my second 2300 in that guitar. I bought a second one because I wore the first one out.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, getting back to the whole build the community, we want to have the people, but like yourself, somebody who, while you're not big famous rock star, you definitely prove with your playing and with the amount of hustle you're doing with all of your social medias and things like that, that you're really, really, really making an effort. Our feeling is that that's to be rewarded and supported. Now, rock stars are great and we love them, and they come through here and we talk to them and they're wonderful and it's fantastic. But the real people that are really going to make the biggest difference are, you know, people like you. You're the new generation.
That's right.
The beautiful thing about a lot of the older generations that are like, I don't really care for a Kayler. It's like, yeah, well, nobody likes what their parents like. So I guess that means it's going to be good for us.
History speaks for itself. We've all been there evidently because we're still alive. Right. So I appreciate what you say about playing a Kayler early on. Thank you for that. And it's all about features and benefits and a proof, but it also takes money. Yeah. So all we got to say is our stuff's got to work, and we appreciate when people buy.
So now, Jeff, I just got to know, from coming from somebody that's my age, being able to walk in here and everything, because you know how inaccessible companies were.
Absolutely.
You know, do you have any like thoughts as to just like, we just walk in and make yourself comfortable?
It's just, like I said, you've been so hospitable. Everybody is so nice, right? It's just, and we feel like we come in here and we feel like freaking rock stars, and we're nobody, right? Well,
No.
Yet.
Soon.
No, you are really somebody.
Right.
And I'm 86 years old, so I can tell you, you were playing my stuff back then. I want to tell you, you're somebody. Thank you very much for that. And we appreciate it. Now your son's going forward in kind of a new generational kind of marketing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
Right.
that's it.
It's so different these days. Having to be online and everything.
No, it
is
is.
Yeah.
way different.
I would have absolutely killed to have YouTube and
Oh yeah.
DAWs and all these things back when I was your age. And, now you can just do it yourself. If you get to the level where you're actually playing in a club, you have blown past, I would say, a good 60, 70% of the people who pick up a guitar or bass or drums or sing or whatever, because I'd say about 70% of the people who start, they just give up before they get to that point.
It takes work.
It's hard. It's really, really hard.
Learning guitar is not easy.
Mm.
Well,
No.
it's easy to learn guitar. It's hard to learn to play it.
Your hand is not supposed to do that naturally.
Right.
That's just being able to do this takes so much discipline. And then being able to, one finger per fret. And because everybody, when they first try to put their hand on a fretboard, everybody's kind of like,
Yeah.
like meningitis or something. You're
Exactly.
And the interesting thing too is one of the things that guitar players have to realize is that everyone is inspired when they listen to other players, right?
Yes.
And they want to sound like that player. Oh, wait, I want to sound like that player over there. Oh, wait, I want to sound like that player over there. And what they really should be doing, and what Jake has done from the beginning, is I am authentically me, and I'm just going to play like me. It took me a long time to realize.
I'll bet he got some of that from you. I'll bet.
I
hope
agree.
so.
Yeah,
I
all
agree.
right.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Now, Jeff, you also didn't know that we made a Fulcrum, right?
I did not know that. And I understand that was the first thing you made.
Well, kind of.
Well, Brass Factory made some Fulcrums, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was late.
It's late 70s.
It's actually why I like both types of tremolos, is because you can get different harmonics out of it.
And the cam versus the Fulcrum, that's like every Fulcrum. Even the ones we make, Fulcrums, cams, they just behave differently,
They do.
So getting back to the Steeler, like I handed you an Ibanez S with the Steeler Professional and Godiva block. What'd you think of that thing?
It's one of the unique things about a cam style tremolo is if you want to play Judgment Day by Van Halen.
Yep.
You've got to travel a long way. You got to bury that cam tremolo to get that sound out of there. But with the Steeler, it's like, you're already there. You don't have to worry about it, right? So it's a good feel.
The crazy thing too is that if we change the block, because you only tried the Godiva block, but if we were to change it to, like, say, the Blunt Fatty, then all of a sudden it would be like, okay, well, this is different. And then the auto latch, it'd be, okay, now this is different. And it's like, well, which one's better? Well, it depends on what you like. And in some cases, depends on what you like moment to moment, because I'll grab a guitar with a Godiva block or an auto latch, depending on what it is I'm trying to accomplish.
What was really cool when you demonstrated today with the auto latch was all of a sudden you move that trem bar and it just sounds exactly like a bridge.
I haven't actually said that because it's just going to sound like complete bullshit.
It's true.
It's going to sound like a marketing lie. It's like, when you engage the auto latch, it actually increases your resonance and sustain. It really does, though.
We saw it. We saw it in person.
Yeah, you guys didn't even have to. You didn't even have to hold the guitar. That was the way that I noticed. And I was like, wait, what? And I spent a half an hour going like, am I going crazy? Is this changing? And so then
you didn't even tell us. We noticed.
No,
We were 2 feet away. We were like, hey.
And it was like, and I was like, now check it out. When you do this, so you do this next, and you're like, holy crap, the tone changed. And I was like, I guess you don't have to do it. You can hear that? Oh, clear as day. The David Lee Roth stand-up video,
right,
where Steve Vai is playing that Loch Ness Green Gem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually Kaler Steeler with an auto latch in that gem, which everybody knows that Steve Vai has two things that he does with his guitars. He either smashes them or gives them away, and but he gave that one away. So the auto latch has been around since the late 80s, like 89, right?
Yeah, it was about 87, 89. What was there was so important that I decided I'm not going to pay a royalty on that. And so we let it set for 12 years before what happened.
Oh, geez, more than that. You know, the first 3 times that I thought I bought an auto latch, I got a piece. You know, but there was so little information out there that I didn't realize. It's like, oh, well, this is just the arm module. I need an indexer and the block. Well, I need okay. And then I bought a guitar that the guy didn't tell me it had one in it, and I lost my mind. And it was like, well, okay, well, I thought this was going to be a silly little, you know, trinket. No, this is like a real honest to God tool, and something that I think a lot of people would benefit from. But this really sounds like a big sales pitch for the auto latch, and like, let's.
And it is.
It sure could
and not only that.
And not only that.
Steve might played it.
Yeah, on one guitar in one video.
I know, but that was the deal, because he had just cut a big deal with Ibanez.
Yeah.
But before that, I was, you know, well, not good friends with Steve, but I knew Steve, and we meet from time to time, and he liked it.
I was showing you guys the gem collection the other day.
Oh, yeah. That was impressive.
Yeah. That Loch Ness green gem is like the only one that they officially put their palm rest on, because they didn't realize it at the time, but Kaler already had a palm rest.
We did.
And Gary had a reputation for going to Japan and suing people over things like that. So they were just like, we're just going to pull this off. You know, that's one of the few instances where the company actually did the right thing without having to be threatened with legal action or something.
Well, they can send me money today if they made money on it. Or...
Are you asking for reparations?
No. Oh, that's an idea.
It's some reparations from Ibanez.
I'll call Trump and see if I can get something.
Oh, man. We may or may not cut that part out. You know what I would like?
Leave it in. What the hell?
You know what I'd like way more than any kind of like back pay from Ibanez? I would love it if they did a reissue of the Destroyer 2 the way that Phil Collins played it with a 2300 on it. How cool would that be? I think that if they did a Destroyer 2 Phil Collins reissue with a, well, but they can't call it that because Phil Collins endorsed by Jackson. Actually, that was never actually a signature model, though. It was just something that he was synonymous with. Once again, because he was good buddies with Dave Story, who everybody loved.
You know, he could get backstage by just showing up.
Right over there, that's the Sammy Hagar album cover for Voice of America. I never realized, but yeah, it's like there is a Kaler on that Dean. Sammy Hagar's parachuting into the Capitol for some emergency rocking for America. You know, that's so awesome. And you guys have a machinist background too. So you can see very clearly the quality or lack thereof in whatever you're looking at.
Oh, I had no idea how cool it was until I got a job as a machine operator. I had the Kaler on my bass like maybe a year before I got that job. And I mean, it was great, but until I realized how it was made, I could see that it wasn't just a piece of junk. I was like, this is the real deal. It's so obvious.
You know, I make a comment about that. You would be surprised how many people that get our assemblies and they'll say, well, what are these? They've gotten so used to seeing die-cast, they think it should be really smooth and wonderful and everything. Well, that's a good thing. That's actually a milled part, you know. But you don't realize that milled part costs 10 times what the injection mold out of zinc costs.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
And understanding what I understand about you, it's probably a dumb question, but do you also issue foreign patents?
We've registered patents all over the world. A trademark is internationally registered probably in about 80% of the countries, especially registered in China under China law. Doesn't make much difference, but I will tell you that it is registered in China under China law. I'll just leave it at that because
it probably doesn't matter in China.
No.
That
doesn't seem to.
Yeah. To protect the innocent, I will just say that what goes on goes on.
So that was only 3 years that a Kaler was made somewhere that was not in the Kaler machine shop.
Yeah, 3 to 4 probably.
3 to
something
4,
like that.
Yeah. Yep. All in an attempt to bring the price down for OEMs, and they did not give a shit anyway.
No, I was getting so much pressure from OEMs. Look, we're going to make this in China. We're going to make, you've got to manufacture it over there. And that way the parts would go from China to China. And the OEM does have a very important point in that if it's American made, you got to bond it going in, bond it coming out. I mean, it's a pain in the ass. But the fact is, you thought, man, that'll really work. I want to point out that the people that made our goods in China were lock people. I did not go to anybody that made guitar parts at that time. I went to a lock manufacturer, and I must say that they did everything according to the agreement. I have nothing angry to say about them at all. They were very good. It was the people that we sold to in China that they'd ordered, like maybe they had an order for 500 X-rims on them, but they'd order 1,000 units. And now all of a sudden we got that everywhere by every means on the distributors in the United States.
There are some fakes on eBay. There are some fakes on Reverb. Everywhere. But guaranteed fake, absolutely 100% anything on Temu, Alibaba, or AliExpress.
Yep.
Completely 100% absolute bullshit. The quickest giveaway, no matter what, if there's the like metric, anything, it's a fake.
Well, there's a bigger giveaway than that.
The stencil? Yeah.
Using a stencil, actually using our trademark, for God's sakes. I mean, that is against the law everywhere. Nobody cares. And then they're shipping directly out of China. There's a couple of people here, particularly on Alibaba. They'll ship them in the United States one at a time. But I understand now we got a distributor doing that. They're actually using my trademark, illegal, and registered with the United States government. And that's something the government's got to step up on and step on them for doing it, because this is bullshit. And the problem is, the people who do this know very well, in the United States, we're all legal nuts here. I mean, in order to stop that could easily be $10,000 to $20,000 to even find out who it is. That's a lot of money. Do we want to raise our price by 20% to all the guitar players so we can go play hide and seek with these criminals? I've decided not to do that because we're in the business of building this up from the end user.
It's just the nature of things, especially when you're dealing with OEMs. It seems to be a race to the bottom.
Totally.
It is.
Right? Totally.
And that's unfortunate because I will pay the extra $5. Just give me the good stuff.
I'm just interested in keeping this company together and doing what we can on our new efforts of building a community for end users.
Well, hopefully that end users demand that pull through.
I do. Thank you for saying that, because that's my whole effort here. Our whole effort. Everybody that works with. Look, without the good people in the machine shop, some of them been with us over 40 years, 45 years.
Yeah.
And their kids are working for us. And I think we even got a grandkid that's drilling holes. So all I can say to that is that this is a family business. And that's kind of what I like about and I will say this about our new administration, regardless of where they're headed. I see something there about trying to put an emphasis back on American manufacturing. And hopefully that works.
Americans care. They're proud.
Yep.
Right. And they want to build good stuff.
All I can say, we mean no harm for anybody that's out there trying to sell something and make a living.
Yeah.
We all have our problems. The end user has his problem. He's got to go there and decide, well, this is Kaler is $1,800, and this other one is $900 or $1,000 or $1,200. If he doesn't have the money, he's going to have to do whatever. And I understand that, and I have empathy for that. I got grandchildren that age, and I understand it.
Something though that you said, Jeff, and something that I'm pretty sure that you will probably back me up on, Jake, is that it doesn't matter how broke a musician is. If they think something's going to give them an advantage, they will find a way to pay for it.
Darn right.
That's right.
I remember driving like the worst cars ever that were held together by wire coat hangers and things like that. But have you seen my bass rig?
Well, we talk about musicians. I won't talk about trumpets, but I'm a senior racquetball player. And I can tell you, those inexpensive rackets don't have anything to them. The expensive ones really do. Some of them are different. You don't like that one. You like that one. And you like this other one. And the balls you're using all cost more money, no matter how you look at it, no matter where they come from. But it does make a big difference.
It does. It's funny you should say that because my family bought me a Gem Junior, right?
Yeah.
I was hoping you would tell the story.
Do you want me to tell the story?
Yeah, tell the
Go
story.
ahead.
Tell
Yeah,
it.
please.
All right. My first time I ever picked up a guitar was 3rd grade, right? But when I really started playing, I was a little bit older, and I was walking down the University Hill in Boulder, Colorado with my dad.
Oh.
I see this guitar in the window. It's beautiful, right? It's like a Les Paul shape. It's just all wood grains. Just beautiful. I'm like, Dad, I got to have that guitar. He's like, but you don't play guitar. I'm gonna, right? So we didn't have a lot of money. So it was $100. It was everything he had, but he bought it for me for my birthday, right? And so that's when I started playing. I was like 15 years old,
Oh, yeah.
So I really got into it. As I got older, I gigged a lot. The Model 5 Charvel was my main guitar for probably 20 years, right? And that pearl white Hamer family, it's all covered with bar smoke now.
Yeah.
You can't get it out of there because it has that absorbent finish on it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of sticky,
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, I met my wife. We got married, had kids, and the most important thing was taking care of them. So that's why I did it. And I still played, I still played my guitar and stuff. And while they were taking baths, I'd sit on the lid of the toilet and play the acoustic guitar and, entertain them while they're taking baths.
I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. But then come 2015, worst year ever. My wife got really sick. My dad died. I had a massive brain hemorrhage.
Oh.
Yeah. And I spent 2 weeks in the ICU. It was a very expensive experience. And I don't care what anybody says. I had a teacher drop dead right in front of me in high school who had a brain hemorrhage, just dropped dead. Oh, at least she didn't feel anything. Oh, bullshit. That hurts. That hurts like a son of a bitch. But it took me, after that experience, it took me about a month to be able to walk properly again.
Sure.
And 6 months to be able to write, And so you can imagine doing something like playing guitar, forget it. It just wasn't going to happen.
Yep.
But my family said, okay, we got to help this guy. We got to get him a guitar. So Jake and his sister and my wife and my mother all got together and bought me the Ibanez Gem Junior. I'm like, okay, I guess they want me to do this. So I knew how to play. I just couldn't. Right? Yep. And I went downstairs every night, plugged in my Marshall, turned it down, and struggled for months and months to learn how to play again. He was going to graduate high school. It was COVID.
Yeah, it was. We got lucky that we even got to graduate.
And so he says, what if we play the national anthem at my graduation? I'm like, okay, let's try it. Why not?
Great idea.
So he was already recording his ethereal bass kind of stuff, right, that I love. And, kind of doing his own thing. He already had the recording software on his computer. And so we said, okay, let's go for it. So one night I sat down in front of the TV and I'm just whittling around and stuff. And I'm like, okay, something like this might be good. Let me take Jake down and let's show him this. And I'm like, so Jake, what do you think of this? So I played it for him. And he says, I think I have the coolest dad ever.
Aw.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's true. We did all the backing stuff, the keyboards and the drums and all the stuff, and made a backing track for it. And then we played on at his graduation, and it was really cool, right? And so that was the first time we could learn that we could actually work pretty well together.
That's great.
And he's like, well, let's keep going. And I'm like, I agree.